Today we're going to get ready together. This is a different kind of video. It's not the norm, but I thought it would be fun to put on my makeup with you. We can chit chat, get to know each other a little bit better, and I'll share with you all the products that I use. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you that I have already applied my morning skincare routine, and I finished that off with this SPF. It is tinted, and so it gives a little bit of coverage, not a lot, but just a little bit of coverage. Well, what I find it does is that it'll fill in pores and give me sort of a smoother surface to work with. So I like to start out with this tinted sunscreen. I like to start with my eyes because sometimes when I will apply my mascara or my eyeliner, it will smudge, and I don't really want that to be something that I've got to take a Q-tip to and wipe off, because then I feel like I am wiping off makeup and I don't want to do that. So if I have my eyes done and then apply the rest of my face, then I'm not wiping off makeup with a Q-tip. I am just wiping it off. Okay, so I like to put, this is sort of like a base on my eyes. This is by MAC, and it is Painterly. It's a paint pot, and it's just a real neutral color, and I like to just put that all over the lid and just sort of make sure it's smoothed in, and then I'll go ahead and start with my colors. This is the eyeshadow palette that I'll be using today. I use this most days, like 95% of the time. It just has such good colors, and I will list all the shades that and where I'm placing them in the description box below, so you can refer back to that. But I like to take a little bit of the shimmery shade and put it on the lid up to the socket line right here, and I'm using a BK Beauty brush, which again I will link down below. This one is the A501. This was from the Angie Hot and Flashy brush collab that she did with BK Beauty. So I like it. I like to just take this, put it all over the lid, and not all over the lid, but stop at the socket line for a good shimmer. So this is what it looks like so far, and I am so not a makeup artist at all. I barely know what I'm doing, but I'm just sharing with you what works for me. All right, so next I like to take not a shimmer, more of a flat color, and I'll take that and I will put it in the socket line, back and forth, kind of like a windshield wiper effect. And back and forth, back and forth. So I thought I would tell you the story of how we decided to move to Colorado. We have not moved yet, but we are planning to move this year because it's kind of funny. And then I like to take just a bone color or like a just ivory color and go from the socket line up to the brow. All right, so we have adult children that live here in Baton Rouge, and one is already a young working professional. He's engaged. And another one has one semester, well, 2 semesters of school left, summer, and then he'll graduate in December. And so he's close. Well, we've lived in Louisiana for a very long time, 25 plus years, and we're all ready for a change. Okay, so this is what it looks like with those 3 shades on my eyes right now. I like to use one of the darker shades here, this one, for eyeliner instead of an eyeliner. I just feel like it looks more natural and not so harsh on me. And so I like to take a tiny little brush like this and use that for eyeliner. Now I'm gonna have to look in this mirror. I can't look in the mirror of my camera right here because I can't see that good up there. So I'm gonna be doing that while I talk a little bit more. So my kids were all wanting to get out of Louisiana, and Paul and I were as well, but we couldn't agree. Well, let me back up, hold on. They wanted us to come with them, which to me is a blessing that my adult children want us near. I mean, I love that, and we want to be near them. And so, but we couldn't all agree on where we would want to live. So we did this thing where we made a list of our top 10. And I mean, each one of us made a top 10 list. And then, okay, one of the boys, he's like Mr. Organized Spreadsheet guy. He took all of our top 10s and he put them together and he looked for common denominators. And we all got one absolute hard no. Like we could all say, okay, I'm not moving there. So we all had one no. And then, so Ryan took a collaboration of our top 3 spots. And then we had a family meeting and we came up with the one that that was a common denominator among all of us is Colorado. So we said, okay, well, we need to go check out Colorado. I've been to Colorado, we've all been to Colorado, but we haven't gone there with the intention of living there. So last fall, we all took a trip up to Colorado. We sort of narrowed it down to Colorado Springs, and we met with a realtor and looked at homes within our price range and just sort of saw what was available. Now, the boys would be on their own, so we're looking at several different properties. We're looking at maybe a condo or an apartment for each one of them, and then a home for us. And I forgot to mention that my parents are coming too, which we're so excited about because we would not have left my parents. It was like a package deal, and they were like, yes, we would love to move too. So we're all moving together. All right, so I just finished the eyeliner. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is the eyeliner. I did sort of like a little wing on the ends right here, and now we're going to move on to mascara. If you have not already subscribed, I invite you to tap the subscribe button and become part of the family. That way you never miss a video and we can stay in touch. And it would mean so much to me. It's funny, I have almost more than 60% of the viewers that watch my channel are not subscribed. So just tap the subscribe button. It is so easy and it's so helpful and it means so much to me. I use a mascara primer. This is by L'Oreal, and I will apply that first. So back to the moving to Colorado. So first we thought we were going to live in an individual houses from my parents, but then after discussing it with them, we sort of decided, well, we did decide that it would be best if my parents and Paul and I lived together. They're getting up in age and they're both healthy right now, you know, but we know that there's going to come a time when the need will be greater for Paul and I to do more and more, and so we thought that we would do this. And it's you know, a lot of the homes in Colorado are almost like a home on top of a home. Like there'll be one level that is, it has bedrooms, it has full baths, they call it like a wet bar, but you really could turn it into a kitchen, and even offices, and you know, an office, and then the level on top of that is kind of like the same thing. It's like a house on top of a house. So you have your privacy, but yet you're right there if, you know, there's a need. So that's the type of home that we've been looking at in Colorado Springs, and there are so many like that, so that's good. Now, okay, so this mascara is L'Oreal Telescopic, and I try other mascaras all the time, and I always come back to this because it's my favorite, so there. And it's in black. So that's the type of home we're looking for, and we are about to list our house this month, in the month of March, And I don't think it's going to take long to sell our home because, well, first of all, in our subdivision, there's no other home for sale like right now. And homes sell pretty quick in our subdivision. And in my parents' subdivision, I am not kidding. I think the last 5 homes that sold, they sold before a sign went up in the yard because it's a small town, word of mouth, people hear things and they jump on it before anybody else has a chance. So I'm not real concerned about like our homes taking a really long time to sell. So that being said, I have been staying on top of the all new listings that come up in Colorado Springs area. So I'm always looking, and I have like a running list of about 10 or 12 that I keep track of, and I just sort of rotate, I'll watch them and I'll put them on a bookmark, and then I'll see it says sale pending, and then it'll say under contract, and then once it's sold, it goes off of my list. But I like to keep a fresh, current list going because I want to feel like I have, an idea of, my hand on the pulse of things that are going on, and I want to be in the know, in the current know of the retail market out there. So that's what I've been doing. I had to finish putting my mascara on off camera because I couldn't really see the little lashes on the bottom. So now all of that's done. My eyes are completely done. And I forgot to say too, this is just like an everyday look. This isn't glam. This isn't for an event. This is just everyday what I look like, the look that I go for. So I do have age spots, sunspots on my face in certain areas, so I like to use this. This is by Jane Iredale, and it is a corrective thing. It has, see how it has these colors? Okay, so I like to take just a tiny bit on my ring finger, and I will put it in the areas that I have. I have 3 spots that are kind of splotchy with sunspots, age spots, whatever we want to call them. Over here, like that. And then up here, I've got some, yuck, but they cover easily. All right, so once I have those covered, the foundation that I like to use is actually a powder foundation. It is this by Laura Geller, and I'm in the shade medium. It is the Baked, Balance, and Brighten. This is what it looks like. And I just take this brush and swirl it in there, and I just sort of press it in on my face. So back to Colorado. So that's what's going on with us there. And so, are we ready for the cold weather? I think so. I mean, we're looking forward to 4 seasons. We don't have 4 seasons here in Louisiana. We have like hot and then semi not hot, but that's it. And so we're looking forward to it. So that is the whole story about Colorado and why and when and how and all of that. I will keep you posted as that changes. And I've also been asked, well, are you still going to do YouTube and Instagram and all that once you move? Sure, I am. This is a job that I have where I can work from home. I can work from anywhere. So I'm excited to be able to do that from home. And my husband is retired, so we can do it. It's all good. Okay, so I would say that this offers light coverage as far as, a foundation goes, but this is what it looks like up close. Moving on to concealer. Now, I love this concealer. This is Tarte Shape Tape. However, it is a little bit thick, so what I like to do is put some on the edge of my hand right there, and I like to take just the tiniest drop of my eye cream, and I will just put just a tiny, little dot of it, and I like to blend it because then it sort of, well, it thins it out for one thing, but you know, it also makes it more moisturizing. So, all right, and then I like to take it and just sort of tap like that. Sort of in, out, and then in towards my, like where I have the hollows on my eyes. And then this is the best brush ever for concealer. This is, it looks like a kitten paw, but it just gets in all the areas that you want it to. And I just sort of press and blend like this. So I don't want it to look too heavy like raccoon eyes, but I do want it to be blended in to cover up. Okay, watch, I'm gonna look down. When I look down, you see eek, eek. And so that's what I'm trying to kind of get rid of, so it's not so blatant. So that's what this is. Again, best brush ever. I'll have it linked down below. And just keep blending that out like this. All right, there we go. So, all right, that's all blended in. Now let me get the powder that I put on the concealer. I like to set the concealer underneath my eyes with just a little bit of setting powder. This is by Laura Mercier, and it's her translucent setting powder. And I love this. I think it's just very lightweight, very finely milled. So I'll just take a little bit on that kitten paw brush, knock it off, and really just sort of lightly go over it. I'm just setting it just a little bit. I just find that it helps it to last all day and look even and blend in with the powder foundation that I've already applied. So there's that. All right, so about 5 years ago, I had my eyebrows microbladed. Loved it. Such a good decision. But I haven't kept up going back and have them refilled in. So they're kind of sparse, like right here and a little bit here. So this is the eyebrow pencil that I like to use. It's from Benefit. It has a spoolie on one end, so I sort of brush up like this. And then it has the pencil, and you can, twist it for it to come up. And then I just take it and sort of make little, just kind of like, I'm just trying to make small little marks, not heavy marks. Just sort of fill it in here, like this. And then I'll take this and sort of blend it in a little bit. And then a little out here. I don't need a whole lot because, like I said, I had my eyebrows microbladed. So there's still a lot of pigmentation on them, but I do still like to fill them in just a little bit. So picking the right shade of eyebrow pencil is so important. I tend to go for a light brown or a taupe color. I find that if I go for a dark brown, it just looks too harsh on me. So this, I'll link the shade. This is 3. The shade is 3 on this one. So, but I will put all that information down below. All right, now let's move on to contour and blush. This is fun because you look a little bit silly when you do it, but it blends in and it just looks so good. So this is my favorite contour. It is by Westman & Atelier, and the shade is Biscuit. And so I just sort of take it at the top of my cheekbone here, and I will just pull it down like that. Same on this side. All right, I'm going to put some here. Basically what I'm doing is creating shadows to give the illusion of a stronger cheekbone and a smaller jawline here, and then my nose. I'd like my nose to look more narrow than it is. So when you do the contour on the sides, it creates more of a slimmer nose. All right, so then I take my contour brush. I have two that I like. This one's a little bit bigger and this one's a little bit smaller. So I use the bigger one here and I just sort of blend in like this, blending sort of down a little bit and just in to the skin, pressing and blending and that kind of thing. Same over here. So the day that I'm filming this is Sunday. I love Sundays. I love Sundays. We have family lunch with our adult kids and my parents every Sunday. And it's just one of those things that I'm so thankful for. My kids make it a priority. Like, it is a priority for them to come, and they live about 45 minutes away from where we do, and it just blesses me. It blesses me that they make it a priority to come home, invest in their family, you know, no cell phones at the table, just, you know, how's it going? How is life? How's work? You know, how can we encourage each other? We laugh like crazy and we just have a good time. And it's one of those things, I feel like, that I'm glad that we've been very intentional about it, because if you don't, you know, weeks can go by without seeing each other, and I don't want that, and I'm glad that my kids don't want that. So anyway, it's nice that we have this relationship. I will say this, so Ryan and Ashlyn, his fiance, they come every other week because on the off week they go to her parents, which I love that they do that. That's amazing. They're investing in her family. And so my Eric, he comes every Sunday, so that is what is going on. Okay, so that was the contour. Now, the blush, let's start with that. The blush is by Laura Geller, and the shade is Practical Pink, and you just sort of turn and product comes up. I don't want to do a lot because a lot of product comes up when you turn it, but I like to take this and put it on the apples of my cheeks kind of high. Remember when we used to put blush right here? No, not so much anymore, because we want the eyes to go up. We want our skin to look lifted and more youthful and not dragged down. So I like to put this right here and then take a blush brush and blend it back and sort of in with that contour. Just all kind of blends in together. Now, there are a lot of other blushes that I like. This is just, right now, it's my favorite, so it's the one I reach for. And I love Laura Geller products. She creates products that are specifically designed for women over 40, and I appreciate that because she puts thought into the ingredients and the application and all of that. So I really like that. I appreciate that. Okay, so there's blush. Next, and look, this goes a lot faster when I'm not talking. I promise, it doesn't take a long time. All right, so lastly, I like to do highlighter. This one is by Becca, but you know, somebody else owns this now. I'm trying to remember who it is, I can't remember. But anyway, it's called Champagne Pop, and that's what it looks like. And so I'll just take a small brush and I'll just barely dip it in. And then I'm just gonna run this on the tops, sort of like almost on top of the blush. And then on this side, same thing. To give a little bit of glow, I like to put some on the end of my nose, right here. And a little bit at the top of my Cupid's bow. I like to set my makeup with a setting spray. There are so many good ones out there. I just happen to have this one from Laura Geller, and I just lightly, there, just sort of, I just feel like that sort of sets the makeup in, which I like. All right, lipstick. So this is, oops, This is by Charlotte Tilbury. The shade is Kidman's Kiss, and this is what I'm currently loving. This rotates. I have like 5 that I sort of rotate between, and this is just what I am currently liking. And so it's a nudie pink. It's more of a pink than nude, but there is a little bit of neutrally nude to it. So I like to put that on, and I like to always top it with a pink gloss. It doesn't have to be this one, or even just like a clear gloss, but just something to give it a little bit of. This one is by Charlotte Tilbury as well, and just a little bit of gloss like that. And that's it. That is the look. I'll move in close so you can see everything. Okay, so that is the entire look. Again, I'm gonna say this, I am not an expert, okay, at all. And if you have makeup tips and tricks that you want to share with me, they are so welcome. They are so welcome, I promise. I am not offended if you want to show me how to do something better. I welcome that. So that's it. Thank you for being here today. I know it seems like it took a long time to do that, but it really doesn't take that long when you're not talking. So enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you in a few days. Talk to you later.